When one is practicing Krishna consciousness, so he progresses in Krishna consciousness. The dasa before Krishna consciousness is what dasa? Is bhoga dasa. And what is bhoga dasa? Is jatana dasa. Dasa means state. Bhoga and jatana. And what is jatana? Jatana is suffering. No amount of attempt you make you to become happy in this material world is not going to work. You may endeavor very hard to become happy in this material world. This world is not a place to give you the eternal happiness. Bhogoi aishwarya prasaktana taya apurhuta chetasana. Those whose intelligence is driven by the immediate sense pleasure, they will never understand this subject, which is appear to be happiness primarily or at the beginning, is cheating in nature. Just like poison is inside, but in the top, decorated with some nectar. Because of that nectar, the foolish people think that there is nectar and they start drinking, and gradually they suffer the consequences. So, any amount of endeavor to get happiness in this material world in reality gives only sufferings. So, Jatana Dasa, a living entity duty is to elevate himself from Jatana Dasa to Sampati Dasa. That is the meaning and purpose of every individual. So, when one practices to elevate his state of consciousness from Jatana, Jatana means his consciousness is not blossomed in budding consciousness because of ignorance about the science of self realizations, because of not practicing the culture of self realizations, a living entity suffers yatana. What jatana? Bhautika jatana, material sufferings. Due to ignorance, he falls in the ditches or the pool of Maya, being attracted to Maya. While suffering also, Maya creates such illusion, he is keep on endeavoring more and more. But by the mercy of Sadhguru Shastra, when he developed transcendental faith on Sadhguru Shastra, he practiced the culture of Sambandha, means to retrieve his forgotten relationship with Krishna. That is the first feeling of development is Sambandha. What is my relationship with Krishna? As soon as he establishes Sambandha, Vedanta Sutra first two pada is dedicated for Sambandha only. Third pada Abhidaya, fourth pada is Prayojana. Entire Vedanta Sutra, Vedic purpose of the Veda is Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojana, nothing else. You may see there are many things like Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda are explained just to attract the people, because Veda Shastra they keep the provision for all modes of material nature, people who are afflicted by all modes of material nature. Those who are continuously remain in highest Sattva they attract to the topmost values of Veda, which is Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojana. All others were afflicted by the flourish word of Vedanta Sutra, Veda. So Vedanta Sutra says Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojana is the essence of all Vedic literatures. You don't go or attracted by the peripherals. Certain yagya, karma are given, just that people people normally should at least avoid them to certain regulations. Unregulated sense enjoyment leads to hell, hellish life. They will not be able to at least maintain their human form of life again, if they are not restricted their, not regulated their life. That's why for those who are in the mode of ignorance and passion and no chance to elevate to goodness, for them Veda gives flourishing word. You do this, you will get this. Because they are so much addicted to the mentality, before doing anything, what will be my gain? And that to material gain. Anyway, so those who is practicing Krishna consciousness, at the beginning, when they at least come to the stage of the sambandha, they realize that jatana is very suffering. So who is able to understand that dukkhalaya asaswata, this material world, and this material pleasure is not a pleasure, is a suffering, jatana, then he fast enter into the state of jatana dasa. Others are suffering, but they are not understanding. Then he start inquiring, what is the solution? Athata Brahma Jigyasa comes. And Athata Brahma Jigyasa lead to realize Sambandha. When he start inquiring, then he will realize Sambandha Vijnana. When he realizes Sambandha Vijnana, then he get freed from the anarthas. Sambandha Vijnana, then he started the Bhajana Pranali or Abhideya. Then he will gradually get his every detail bhava, one after the other. So when he elevate himself, when he is freed from anartha, then his releasement to the transcendental realms of the holy name, holy form, the pastimes, nama, rupa, guna, lila, and the qualities of Krishna. These four give immense pleasure to the living entity. That time he realizes that this jatana is the biggest problem of human being. So he become very merciful to others. Then he exhibited real daya. And a person, whether if he is willing to become a Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, and this is the minimum basic qualification required. What is the minimum basic qualification? At least he maintain himself in Sambandha Dasa. Sambandha Dasa is Shravana Dasa. Hearing from spiritual master and exhibiting all the devotional service and relationship. He can be a servant of God, he can be friend of God, he can be parents of God, or he can be uh, prayasi, means loving devotional service, like Manjaris, Gopis, Madhurya Bhav. So his relationship is realized at this state, and he's practicing Krishna consciousness to please Supreme Personality of Godhead in that connection. So at this state, he's realizing who is he. And now he's realizing that he was in greatest jatana, and by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, he has come out from this. So let others be helped to saved from this greatest suffering. So the first stage is that knowing that this material world is the source of greatest suffering. There is no happiness at all. One must be very much confirmed on this subject, that there is no happiness at all. No means no. Any kind of happiness, you see, is looked to be happiness. As you enter inside it, you realize the real happiness or suffering. So seeing that, realizing that, you are merciful to others. How you become happy, you want to give the same kind of happiness to others. That is your desire, that is humility. So that means without becoming a first class devotee, one will not be able to exhibit humility. That also confirmed by Bhagavad Gita. Humility, when one is realizing Krishna Sambandha, then what is the essence of Krishna Sambandha? What is the Abhidaya? What he is required to do to increase his relationship or release the sambandha is abhidaya. Release the sambandha is prema, the loving devotional service of Godhead. The mean of releasing sambandha is practicing sambandha. When I have a relationship, just like if I am a son and I have duty to my father, so how I exhibit my duty as a son is abhidaya. So how I exchange the relationship with my father is prayojan. So in this process, when one is trained very well on the process of abhidaya, how he can do activities to please Supreme Personality of Godhead, then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18.68, there is no other activity which can ever please more than this, that glorify or spread the most confidential secret of devotional service, which is Sarva Dharman Paritejya Mamika Saranam Praja. Surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Spread this Krishna consciousness movement to eligible persons, not to everybody. You have to find Sraddha in them and then you can do. Just like Jagamedhai were preached by Nityananda Prabhu, they didn't have Sraddha. So they are drunkard. They even attacked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the liquor bottle. No, Nityananda Prabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invoked Sudarshan Chakra. Seeing Sudarshan Chakra, immediately they could realize that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt. Just like Ravana, Kansa, when they saw the transcendental power of Supreme Personality of Godhead during their fight, they confirmed all the doubts is eradicated in them that their opponent is Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the reason they all get Sajujya liberation. So once one is sufficiently understood without any doubt, Chinnasti Sarvasansaya, without any doubt, that who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he need not to come back to this material world again. So anyway, they elevated to the state and the required faith was given by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So when you want to make somebody devotee, so seek the faith in him. If he's not having that faith, then you have to give the faith. That's why Prabhupada created a Bhaktivedanta Institute. Present things so systematically, scientifically, with whatever skills you have. You might have physics, biology, chemistry, or artistic skill or singing skill. Utilize everything. Or you can do very nice poster presentations, whatever skills you have. Utilize them to present, to glorify Krishna in a systematic manner. So that when they understand with their interest, people have various interests. Somebody have interest in biology, somebody is having interest in chemistry, somebody is in having quantum, and some others are having in art. And because knowing the glorifications of Krishna in their field, they become realized or understand about or attracted to Krishna. So they develop faith. And once they develop faith, then they are eligible to hear the topmost secret of devotional service. So Bhaktivedanta Institute duty primarily is to develop faith, then explain this topmost secret of devotional services. So humility is the character by which Krishna becomes very much pleased. That you are not only worried about yourselves but also worried about all living entities. Our Guru Maharaj, when he was going to various places, even seeing the birds or the dogs, he was very merciful to them. He was able to even understand the chirping of birds, and he was looking them so mercifully, as if he is interacting with them. We have seen how merciful Guru Maharaj exhibited even to birds, beasts, to all animals. So one must keep mercy in his heart for everybody. So chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra gives advancement of consciousness to all living entities. All those scientists who were praised developed faith in them. They may not have all taken Krishna consciousness, but their life has become successful. At least in the next life, they will start as a devotee. So that is the duty of a devotee. It's not that you have to see all the tangible benefit. I'm doing this preaching, how many devotees come up? No, that is not our duty. Our duty is to please Krishna. And Krishna will be pleased when we delivered people from the nesciences. Because nescience, avidya, is the greatest suffering. Seva sukha dukha parama sampada nasai avidya dukha. There is only one suffering, that is avidya, ignorance. When one comes to the state of vidya, what is vidya? Devotional service is vidya. When one is lacking devotional service, it is avidya. And while doing devotional service, there can be suffering, there can be enjoyment. Who's your apparent? Means based on your attractions. If you are in full Sudha Sattva, there is no mix of Raja and Tama. You will be always getting transcendental happiness. Seva Sukha. But Seva Dukha, sometimes it appears that you are getting some Dukha while executing Seva. That is because of the impact of Raja and Tama. That you sometimes think that, oh, it is troublesome. I'm getting so much trouble. Even devotees are troubling me. You may feel like that. So that is because of the impact of Raja and Tama. In gradual progress, this will be removed. There will be no Raja and Tama playing. Initially, you are utilizing your Raja and Tama in the service of Krishna, so that gradually Sattva become prominent and Raja and Tama get eradicated. But as long as Raja and Tama there, there will be little misunderstanding. Sometimes spiritual enjoyments will be seen as sufferings until one is very much advanced. That time he realizes dukkha in seva. Sometimes the dukkha is appear to be dukkha is dukkha also, but dukkha is sukha. Just like the viraha of gopis are dukkha, right? But they are also sukha. Because there is association in separation. Viraha in milana, milana in viraha. That advanced concept. Just to give a little glimpse, I can explain that. While gopis were with Krishna, they are thinking that, oh, this Krishna will go away, he will not remain. And they are getting the suffering of that, thinking that Krishna will go away. That become a pain for them. Even though Krishna is with them in Milana state. And when Krishna is in Viraha, they are also getting Milana. Because when Krishna is in Viraha, they only think about the form, transcendental form, and they recite the name of Krishna. They remember what pastimes Krishna has performed with them, the Leela of Krishna. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, and the qualities of Krishna. What is the nature of Krishna, how he behaves, all this. So in Viraha, gopis were thinking Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. They are Sandhini Shakti. Just like you tell mango, mango will not manifest here. But when you say Krishna, Krishna is there. Krishna word and Krishna has no difference. Even scripture said Purvasnath Paramevanta Karuna. Even the name is more merciful than Krishna form himself. If Krishna himself present, he would be more merciful, you think? No. Krishna name is more merciful. If you need to develop Sraddha for that. You need to advance in Krishna consciousness to realize that. Bachyam Bachakamriti Deti Bhavata Nama Sarupadam. Purvasnath Paramevanta Karuna. So devotees, advanced devotees like gopis, they are getting milana in Viraha. What is the milana? They are getting direct association of Krishna's Sandhini Shakti, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. Sandhini Shakti is their chari parichaya. So they are in continuous association of Krishna in Viraha. So this concept is not easily digested for neophytes. So Seva, Sukha and Dukha, Both pleasure and suffering is the treasure. So whether it appears to be dukha or sukha in service, both are treasures that will destroy avidya dukha. Once avidya dukha is destroyed, there is no dukha at all. So that is the humility quality of a devotee, is that he want to elevate the living entity from the state of suffering to the state of happiness. And when these qualities are exhibited by transcendental devotees, then the people who take shelters by listening from such devotee, they are elevated to Sravanadasa. They are very much attracted. Then gradually they can progress to higher states. Hare Krishna. We have reached the time. We'll explain some other day more detail. Hare Krishna. Yeah.